Hey guys, my name is Rakaya Davis and I'm the blogger, designer, and garment architect at redpantsdesigns.com. Today's video, I'm going to be showing you exactly how to make these awesome earrings that I recently made for myself. I made them actually while on a road trip to a family gathering with some very inexpensive tools and some simple steps. So keep watching, and also don't forget to subscribe to my channel and leave any comments or thoughts that you might have on any of my videos. So keep watching. So first I wanted to review with you the anatomy of the earrings that I recently made. I used a button that I had from my stash for the stud part of the earring. For the backing of the earring, I made it a clip-on because that was actually the only thing that I had at the time, but I thought that it would be a great option to go with the button that I was using. And very simple, just a shank button that I cut the backing off. For the purposes of this tutorial, I will be using the red DMC Thread, which can be purchased anywhere from Hobby Lobby to Joann's. The ones that are purchased in the spools are the ones that you should look for. A couple of other supplies that you will need would be a large head needle. The one that I'm actually showing you is actually an upholstery needle that I use for other projects. Other supplies that you'll need are these jewelry bails. You can find these at Joann's, Hobby Lobby, or any other jewelry store. You'll also need an earring post that either clip on or pierced that has a nice flat surface. So just to walk you through a couple of things that you could possibly use as different options, you could use old vintage clip-on earrings where you remove the backing, or you could use a shank button, or you can use anything that might have a flat surface. So just an example of something that I've used is this particular shank button that has a plastic shank. If you remove the back, you'd be able to easily use it. Here's an example of some vintage clip-on earrings where the backings have been removed. Here's an example of a shank button. Now with this particular shank, you'd actually have to add something to the back in order to make it work for these earrings. And here's another example of a shank button. Here's one more example of a different type of button that you could use as a potential option. The buttons that are vintage clip-ons that I've decided to move forward with are the ones that were previously clip-on earrings where the backings have been removed. Other supplies that you'll need will be E6000 Glue. You'll need some scissors. And you'll also need some business cards with a binder clip on the end. Before we begin actually creating the tassels, we will need to cut a few loose strands. Cut two 20-inch long loose strands, and also cut 6 12-inch long loose strands and set them aside. Now with the stack of business cards, you will begin to take one of the spools of the thread and begin to wrap them around the shorter side of the business cards. You will do this until you've reached about halfway through each spool of thread. Each spool of thread yields about 2 tassels. You will need to repeat this step 6 times. Once you've worked yourself halfway through the spool, cut the loose end. Now you'll want to remove the binder clip so that you can begin your next step. With the 20-inch long strand, thread your needle about halfway through the stack of business cards. Start to fold them a little bit to make enough space to be able to put the needle through it. Work your needle through in between the cracks. Now with the two ends, you will create a knot across the top part of the tassel. Now on the other side of the business cards, about halfway through, bend the cards again and take your scissors and between the cracks, cut the threads. Smooth out all of the loose strands and make sure that your knotted section is towards the center of the strands. And now with one of the 6 12-inch long strands, about a ½ inch down from where the knot was formed, start to create some knots around the sections of the tassels. I like to make a few knots to secure the tassels and cut the loose ends. As I go along, I like to clean up the edges of the tassels with my scissors. So with the scissors, I'm going to go through and just make sure that all of the edges are even. You will need to do this a few times because as you go along, the edges do kind of shift. Now with the top part of the knotted section, about a ½ inch above that, you will want to create another knot. This knot is very critical because this will be the part that anchors the next tassel. Do this a few times to make sure that this section is very secure. Now we'll begin creating our next section of the tassels. You'll repeat the first step that you did in creating the tassels on the business cards. Now with the scissors about halfway through the business cards, we will cut this section. We won't be repeating the section where we needed the sewing needle. Now with this flat section, you will take it and attach it to where the knot was just created. And then you will tie another knot, making sure that your tassels are in the middle of this section. You will already see the earrings beginning to form. Now go in as you go along and clean up each section. Now with one of the 12-inch strands about a ½ inch down right above the original tassel, you'll want to tie a knot around those sections. This is very similar to the step that you did for the first tassel. Now above this tassel, you'll do the same step that you did similar to the first step, where you will create another knotted section about a ½ inch above the top of the second tassel. This will become the anchor for the third top tassel. Similar to the second tassel, you will tie the third tassel section in the middle of the tassel strands. And now it's time to use your earring bail. After you've threaded one side of the ends of the tassels with your needle, pull that end through the earring bail and then pull this section of your needle through the top head of the tassel. Thread your needle with the loose ends. With the earring bail, pull the needle through the end of the bail and now pull it through part of the top of the third tassel. Watch as I go along. This creates the top anchor for the stud of the earring. Go through the bottom of the bail a few times. Now form a knot on one side. And go through the bail once more and form a knot on the other side. This will help to center the bail over the top of the tassel. Now cut the loose ends of the threads. Now I'm ready to apply the crystal to the bail. With my E6000 glue, take a small dot of the glue and apply it to the bail. Apply a small dot of the E6000 glue to the bail. With a dot of the E6000 glue on the bail, attach the crystals or buttons or whatever flat surface you're going to be using for your earring stud. Once the glue is dried, you are now able to attach the earring post to the bail. With a small dot of E6000 glue, attach the back of the earring post to the back of the bail. Allow this to dry. Do this for both pairs of earrings. Now you have a fabulous pair of earrings. If you enjoyed this tutorial, please subscribe to my channel and please leave comments and feedback. Thank you so much for watching.